obviously with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're clearly going to be the winners. I mean, obviously. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think Derek Carr is going to have a good season over there with them, and he's going to prove himself.
Prove himself? He's already proved himself.
Yeah, but he's going to really prove himself this year. Number 3.
I don't know how much better he can get.
Himself.
He's a top 7 quarterback.
Amazing insight. He's going to reprove himself.
Yeah. Number 3, I'm probably going to go with I don't know. I guess the Chargers and the Broncos last.
All right. So I'll read the comments before I get to mine. Snug with another good name, the pastor of pastrami. # ban the beef. The captain of cold cuts. I think you guys came up with that one a couple
The
weeks.
bishop of bologna.
Nice, Jeff.
I love the Sultan of coleslaw. That's the best. That's the best.
Snug says, no way. Sam Darnold hangs 49 on the Jets to start the season off right.
I don't think so.
This is Hidden Brady 8, your time. Ben with a score update, 21-17 Minnesota now, a rushing touchdown. Carl says, Gophers back on top. He gives his Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons for Carl. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos for Carl in the AFC West. Okay. And Snug says, what does that mean? He's already proved himself. What do you have to really prove himself? All right, so I disagree with you on the AFC West.
And he says the Papa of pepperoni.
Nice, Carl. Very good.
The Archbishop of Antipasto.
Anytime you guys want to come to New York, let me know.
Come on, you don't think these are great names? These are funny.
I'll start digging some holes for you.
All right, so I disagree with the
Wow,
beef.
that's unbelievable. We're giving you absolute gold here, and then you're threatening our lives. That just seems ungrateful.
I just said digging holes. I didn't say anything.
The Sultan of coleslaw. Love it.
All right,
the Prince of Potato Salad.
We all know Jeff really didn't go on a date, right? He took a blow-up doll with him, right? And he sat him in a restaurant, right?
Buddy, the last time you had any was when your finger broke through the toilet paper when you wiped, right?
You sure about that?
That's the closest you could come to any.
You sure about that?
Snug adds the Pope of Pickles.
The Pope of Pickles.
You guys are idiots. SPD, go.
All right, so I got the Raiders in last place. I still don't trust that defense or that offensive line. I'll give them 6-11. That offense could keep them in some games. I still don't really trust their receivers at all. Darren Waller's great. Their running backs are nice, but again, even though I drafted Kenyon Drake on my fantasy team, I think they still overpaid for him, and they lost 3 offensive linemen. And you're not going to get all that. That's your first
mistake.
Get all that in one night. No, Beef, because their offensive line's so bad, he's going to catch a lot of short passes. That's called PPR points. Yeah. Defense was all right in the front 7, but that secondary is just atrocious.
Hey, you want a PPR back? I wouldn't mind drafting Giovanni Bernard. Mm-hmm. He's going to get some.
Yeah, I think he's still available in our league because it's a 10-team league, so I'm sure he's a free agent. So he could be a streaming option for sure. In terms of that defense, they're really bad in the secondary. Trayvon Mullen's nice, but they don't really have much else. Their safety coming back in Abram. Again, not much else to trust. So I have the Raiders last 6-11. Number 3, I have the least clutch team in football. They're a talented team, the Chargers. They're going to finish 8-9. They're going to win some games. They're going to look impressive. A lot of players will look good, but they're going to lose a lot of close games like they always do. That defense will be a little better, but with Brandon Staley there, but they still lost a couple pieces in the offseason with Perriman, with a couple of the corners that they had. Derwin James comes back, which will help a little, but no Ingram. Still a lot of question marks in that interior, too. That offensive line, though, got better. So I love Herbert. I love the talent that they have there, but still a lot of injury
Derwin James,
issues.
best safety in the league this year.
Ooh, all righty. So Chargers 8-9.
Okay.
One of the first teams out of the
Remember
playoffs.
I said that.
All righty.
Not in a league Devin McCourty plays in.
We'll see. Best safety in the league. You watch.
All right, number 2 for me is the Broncos. I think they'll figure something out a little bit with their quarterbacks. Drew Lock I don't love, but I think with the receivers being a little healthier this year, they drafted Javonte Williams, they get Melvin Gordon. That offensive line's a little better, and that defense I think is the biggest key that gets better. They have a legitimate secondary now with their 2 corner tandems, and they don't have to trust Patrick Surtain to be that number 1 corner. They didn't lose any of their linebackers. They get Von Miller back. Their interior.
We get it. Move along.
Their interior is a little questionable. I have the Broncos 9-8. They're the 7th seed. They're my last wild card team, and the Chiefs obviously will win the division.
Wow, you have the Broncos second place.
Wow,
second place in the
division.
Over
the Raiders?
Yes,
Really? Wow.
the Raiders.
That is absolute banana land.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
And then I have the Chiefs, obviously, number 1. But their defense is a little concerning, but their schedule being very easy.
On that one.
Yeah.
Their schedule
their
being
defense is concerning, but you're completely fine with Teddy Bridgewater. You're all bananas.
Teddy Bridgewater is a game manager quarterback that is serviceable. I have nothing.
Yeah, that's what we need, a game manager when all of our receivers are designed to run down the field. Good for you.
Okay, and they're still good players. They're still good players that are not.
They're going to be good players standing 40 yards downfield where Teddy Bridgewater can't throw the ball to them.
Jeff, it's a lot better than Drew Lock throwing all the interceptions he did last year.
Oh, God.
Drew Lock threw those interceptions because none of those guys, they were all hurt last year.
Okay, so you can't give them that leeway this year now that they aren't hurt?
Oh, but you like Teddy Two Gloves? Get out of here.
Okay, he might be. Or Jeff, I'm not saying that whoever starts at quarterback. I don't
He's
love
all flustered.
I don't love either one of them. They're saying the compilation of the team
I
gets
don't
better.
love either one of them, but they'll finish second because they're so much better than all those other teams.
The Chargers, I said, are the second most talented team. They lose close games in weird ways.
You're stupid.
They lose close teams in weird ways. I didn't say the Chargers were less talented than the Broncos.
You're also forgetting Denver might be in a position to want to lose, right? And I know that sounds weird.
Why?
But they probably want their draft picks to be higher so they have better assets to offer for Deshaun Watson.
I think they'll have enough to offer.
You don't think Rodgers is going there next year?
No, he's under 2 years. He signed an extension.
No, this is last year.
No, he signed an extension.
Nope.
He signed
It's a 2-year extension, but they could buy him out or something.
Yeah.
It could happen, but it is a 2-year extension.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
2-year
I
extension.
thought it was only 1 year.
He'll be a Packer.
I thought it was only 1 year.
No, I think he's staying with the Packers.
So Chiefs are my number 1 seed in the AFC overall, but I still don't love them in the playoffs because that defense is a little questionable.
All right, AFC West. I think the Broncos are the worst team in that division. I don't trust Drew Lock. I don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. This defense, they were talking about trading Von Miller at one point in this preseason. I don't know what this team is incomplete. I think they have a good explosive wide receivers, but again, I don't think like Jeff was saying, I don't think these quarterbacks are going to be able to get the ball. And Teddy Bridgewater starting, I don't think he's going to be able to get the ball to these guys. So I think it's going to be another year where the Broncos are dead last in that division. I don't think they win more than 6 games, 7 games, the most in this division.
They are no longer the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Errol. They are the Speedy Petey All-Stars.
I got the Raiders in third place. Their defense is horrendous. They're going to be explosive. They have Jacobs, who I think is one of the best running backs, one of the most underrated running backs in the league. I think they're going to. Derek Carr is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league too, and they have Waller, who I think is, if not the best tight end, he's the second or third best tight end in football. Very explosive, very fun to watch. I think they're going to be good offensively, fun to watch, but their offensive line is weak. They lost a lot of good offensive linemen, including Brown, that went back to the Patriots, which definitely is going to affect their production offensively this year. But all in all, I think the Raiders don't win more than 7-8 games this year again. I think they're going to take steps back before steps forward. So I think the Raiders are the third place team. And I think the Chargers are one of my surprise teams. I do believe they're going to be a wild card team. I think Justin Herbert slowly but surely is going to become one of the more talented, fun quarterbacks in the league. I think he's going to be a top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league by year's end. He's got so many weapons. He's fun to watch. The offensive line's a little bit better, adding, what's his name again? The center from the Packers, Lindsley. So I think they're going to be fun. I also think their defense is going to be a lot better with Derwin James 100% healthy playing in the beginning of the season. Derwin James is going to be one of the more exciting defensive players to watch this year. He's going to be an all-pro player, safety, best safety in the league. Mark that on your trail calendar, baby. I think the Chargers win 10 or 11 games with Justin Herbert. And the Chiefs, they're going to win the division. We know what they are. Patrick Mahomes, their offensive line, which we thought was going to be worse this year. Well, they added Dooney, then they added Brown, then they added the center in the second round. So Humphreys, whatever his name is. So this is going to be a fun team to watch. They're explosive. If they stay healthy, they have arguably the best tight end in football. Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in football. And their running backs are not too shabby either. And their defense, not top-notch, but it'll keep them in games. They do have Mr. Honey Badger there. So Clark's not there. He could be out for the season. He might never play football again. That's going to hurt them. But I still think the Chiefs are the best team. They win 12 or 13 games in the division. Chiefs win the division. What do we got now, Speedy?
Jeff has to do his AFC.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. it's a no-brainer. The Chiefs win the division. Everyone agrees, right? Chiefs win. Unless Patrick Mahomes falls down and pulls a Dak Prescott, Chiefs win the division. Okay? I got the Chargers second. I think the Chargers – I do think the Raiders didn't get better losing Aguilar, losing some of those other guys. I like some of their pieces, but they didn't get better. They either stayed the same or got worse, and I like what the Chargers done. I would go Chargers second, Raiders third, and then the Speedy Petey Palominos fourth.
Looks like Carl agrees with you guys. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos is his order as well.
All right, so we'll
the
go.
Speedy Petey Palominos, the mini horses. They're no longer Broncos. They're mini horses.
Let's go. NFC North. Go ahead, Beef.
NFC North.
The Packers division.
Packers win this division with Aaron Rodgers back there.
How many wins?
How many wins?
That's what we've been doing. Prediction of wins. That's what we've been doing.
Probably 12.
Okay.
Then I'm probably going to go with the Vikings.
The Vikings. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. How many wins?
How many wins?
Oh.
Probably 10.
You think the Vikings are going to win 10 games?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Third?
Bears. And then Lions are going to be the worst team in the league.
How many
this
wins
year.
does the Bears win this year?
9.
Okay. All right.
And the Detroit Lions will probably not win a game this
Speedy,
year.
read all the comments.
Beef 0-17 Lions. Nice. All right. We did the Pope of Pickles. Carl came up with one too. The Piper of Popcorn. Prince of Pepperoni Pizza for Ben. Carl says, should I pick up Jamal Williams from the Lions? Anthony Lynn loves to throw the ball to backs. I wouldn't rule it out, Carl. If he's available on your waivers or late in your draft, that's a good pick. Snug says,
listen to Mr. Fantasy Guy.
Snug says the Brigadier of Brisket. Then he asked me a question. Speedy, what's just more likely to happen? A, the Chargers win a close game late, or B, a sad old blind woman gets tricked into a date with the beef. Oh God, those are interesting scenarios. From the wise words of my father, even the blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Can we go with hell freezing over first?
Yes, I'll take Jeff's answer. Of Slugs, your two options, unless you're.
Could the squirrel find your nuts, Speedy?
No.
I would hope not.
Probably already has.
No, I've never been attacked by a squirrel. I've never been attacked by a squirrel, luckily.
He was probably up in a tree, one of those peeping Tom kids, right, with the squirrel. Look at his nuts.
No, my parents wouldn't let me get a tree house. Okay. Snug, if you're willing to let me go with Jeff's option, then I'll pick C, but I'll go with A. Maybe they find one fluky other team misses a field goal or something like that. They don't play the Vikings this year. I'm trying to figure out another team with a kicking curse.
Keep reading everybody's stuff.
Maybe the
please.
Bengals.
Could you stop?
Bengals. Carl says Bears win 9 games at best. Vikings win 8. Ben says Packers. Everybody else. Snug says I love how he says as much wins every time as he knows. He's surprised Earl wants to know it. And then Ben says I'll be walking before that happens. All right, so NFC North for me, I'll go Lions last. Like Beef said, there's not really much to talk about with them. I'll say 3-14, at the worst team in the NFC. They only have a couple strengths on that team, and that's really it. Third, I got the Bears, just because I don't know when Justin Fields is going to start. I don't really trust that coaching staff. That defense, it's still decent, but they have some question marks in that secondary and interior defensive line. Offensive line has a couple injuries as well. So I'm going to take them third right now, even though I think when Fields does play, he'll definitely be a spark. I just don't know how many wins they're going to get. Second, I have the Vikings 9-8. That defense will be better. They were better in the second half of the season. Now they get Danielle Hunter back. They just signed Everson Griffin back. They bring in Patrick Peterson, Bashaw Breeland to help out that secondary. So it's not going to be great, but it's definitely going to be better than it was last year. And I think that offense is still very explosive. Kirk Cousins is a very disrespected quarterback in this league.
From one of the best divisions in football to probably the worst division in football, besides the NFC East.
The Dallas Cowboys still play football in the league. So.
No, but the NFC North is just as bad. I mean, it's terrible.
But I think the Vikings, I think they'll sneak in. I think they'll be the last wild card team in that division. They're usually a good team every other year type thing, and I trust that thing. I don't know if it'll lure Cousins to say, but I think they sneak in, and then the Packers will be number 1. I'll say 12-5. They still didn't really solve their issues, though. I mean, Amari Rodgers could be their second receiver, but again, their biggest issue I still think is the middle of the field on their defense. They got safeties that are decent, but the linebackers, I don't trust them, and the interior defensive linemen outside of Kenny Clark, they don't really have much. So I think it'll be the same old Packers, unless, again, this is a another one of those like last if the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams last dance thing is going to happen, maybe. But they really didn't improve their biggest weakness to me. Sorry, Ben.